Thought I saw something. Let's go take a look around. A little bit of late afternoon exploring. Driving down the road until I noticed something. Saw some giant trees through the woods. Like I tell you all the time, it's easier to see them in the wintertime from afar, from a distance. Hey, check out the old school balloon for real. You know, say, why don't you grab it? Use it for the art. Got some grass up here, clearing in the trees. Some old school stuff. 100-year-old oak trees, that's what I saw. Reference picture. Beautiful place. Definitely old school. Check this thing out. Well, that's not that old school. Plastic nail polish remover. People probably been up here all the time. Look at that. People shattering bricks. Instead of crapping them after they watch my videos. Hey, it's almost like the all-seeing eye. Optical illusion. Someone's got the bass bumping. Boy. Antiquish. Hold up. Let me get back. Take a picture. Old school wagon wheel. With an axle. Probably old school farming stuff. You know how that goes out here in places like this, deep out in the country. Probably not as old as we think. Probably 1920s. Probably no older than about 1910. There are serial numbers on the axles. Could be 1870s. What a find for today. You prime explorers might know exactly where I am by just looking at the sculpture out here. Nature trying to take it back. See, people come out here all the time. Look, someone moved something right here. You could tell that they moved something right here. It was probably this right here. So one thing about my videos, we could be anywhere. Trying to make it to the top. This is probably where the old house was. Got a line of rocks right here. Probably Bobby made that line back in 1944. That's a piece of metal. No, it's a rock. Somebody's been digging. Those varmints. You're thinking I'm going to come across a graveyard. Well, hey, here's the old fence. Pile of rocks right here. Got an old school PVC pipe, probably for drainage from the house. Oh, it was probably in here. Had to have been on this side of the fence. Hold up, hold up. Can we enter? I see a rock wall. "38 degrees out here, man. What the heck do I get myself into exploring like this?" Are those rocks, or is that fungus over there on that giant tree? Yeah, this is an old school home site for real. Well, we already knew that from the beginning. I'm waiting for something major to pop out. Well, this is major right here. Here go the bricks right here. Oh, some of them, that is. Why does everything so old gotta be so destroyed? Oh, man. Yeah, see, that looks like a pile of rocks right there, but it's fungus. Hope you like my little exploring discovery videos. I know they're not much half the time unless you come across something that's fully intact. For real. No railroad ties yet. Nothing. Except parts of the house. Quite the spread. I don't know how far I can go up in here. There's probably not going to be much besides the remains of an old house, and that's it. Every time I pass by this place, though, and I notice the trees, I keep planning to come on out and explore, but it's like today, I guess, had to be the evening. Tonight had to be the night. Since I was visiting a coworker out here, handing some stuff off, who lived close by, you know. Large and in charge. That's what I like to see. Some more rocks piled up next to this tree right here. Probably just field stones or something like that. Normalized out here. I'm waiting for the big bang. Either a large tree that's 450 years old, which we'll probably never find, but you know, you don't know. There could be more of something out here. Hey, there's a hose. Alright, little rinky-dink exploring video. There's some old corrugated pipe. It's a plastic bag out of all things out here. Oh, I bet the property used to cover the entire location. There's a giant drainage pipe right there. That's an old road. I see some kind of line. Yeah, that's an old road. Huh. I'm always trying to find places that have never been discovered before, you know. It's almost like that ain't going to happen. I had this theory one time. There's another piece of metal down there. I had this theory one time when it comes to nature's connection to mankind and mankind's connection to the life of nature, you know. Does that have tree tag on that? Like one of those little metal circles? Huh. But there was this one thing that bugged me for all these years. I noticed how every time I went to some old home site or something like that, a lot of the trees were just dead. And I kind of like marked that off as something like, trees are only allowed to live for so long, Some live longer than others. And I thought about it. I tried to put a spiritual swing on it because it kind of bugged me a long time ago when we moved out of the grandparents' place back down in Harris County, And when I came back we came back, I think, about 9 months later. And half the trees in the yard were dead. I'll never forget that. Half the trees in the yard, front and back, were all dead. And they were alive and well when we were living there. And within 6 to 8 months, they were dead and rotting away. So that bugged me after all this time, and I was sitting there thinking, what if, like, our spirit, the spirit of mankind, the spirit of our souls and stuff, where you live, it's like we're supposed to take care of each other, They take care of us, they watch over us, and we're supposed to do the same. We got that connection, Oh, there's asphalt up in here. I guess that's where they dump. Access from the road. There's a lot of cans out here. New ones too. That's a fine looking piece of metal. Maybe I should, no, I can't come back out here and make some art piece. This might be protected land, I don't know. But there's certainly a lot of aluminum cans all over the place. You're going to say, why don't you give them up, boy? Dang. Did you look at the size of that masterpiece right here? I don't know if that's the one that I saw or not. That is a humongous tree right here. That can't be the one that I saw. This is 3 times the size as the ones that I was looking at. Dang. This is it. This is the one I'm trying to look for out here today. That is a massive, oh, yeah, look at that. Look at that. It's got the red, I was about to say red, it's got the tag on it, metal circle. Maybe that is what I saw back there. On another tree, but it was at the bottom. It looked like it was just fungus or something, but that has got to be at least, I'd say at least 190 right here. 190 years old for this white oak. You can kind of tell because of the size of that gargantuan root. Dang. About time I found another one. You're going to say, you're going to come back out here and measure her waistline. Gargantuan. Beautiful. Humongous tree. Look at the size of her, man. Boy. Another great discovery while exploring. There's a pile of stuff up here by this old road. Let's go ahead and take a look. I bet it's an old dumping ground too from back in the day. Document my findings. For real. Humongous. They look smaller from a distance. Another great find. A lot of good trees around here. That's good to see. That's great to see, actually. Hanging on. Yeah, it's just a bunch of tires and all other same old crap we always see in places like this that need to be cleaned up. Same old kind of stuff, man. I bet it's got a toilet in there too. Well, it's got PVC pipes and some other plastic stuff. Hold on. Yep. Typical. Same kind of stuff you see right here. People always got to dump the hose. Alright. Now what? I bet there's more trees out here. I don't have time to look. I see another spread. You're gonna say go for it. I don't know about that though, man. I might have to come back out here. Plan to come out here again, you know. Here goes the planted pine. You can always tell because of the perfect ground cover. The pine straw kicking it out here. Keeping it clean. Uh-oh, got another one. Man, we're having a blast out here right now. You're going to tell me I'm going to be going too far. Makes me feel half the time that I'm the only one that comes out to look for large trees of life in heavenly places. Because they definitely like to draw me close. No matter what it takes, they're going to pull me out with their antenna. Tesla coil. For real. Spreading out. Gargantuan white oak. This one's probably about the same age as the other one. Beautiful. Not as large as some that I found before deep out in the woods. Yeah, this one's probably tipping on about maybe 175 right here. Check this place out, man. There's two twins right here hanging out. Probably about, I'd say 140, 160 right here for both of them. Huge. What else is going to be out here? Might have to save it for later. If this was summertime, we would still have probably 3 to 4 hours of daylight left. Instead, we're struggling with just a little tiny bit of daylight left at a little bit after 6. I think I'm looking for that, or a signal tree out here somewhere. But these are a different kind of signal tree for real. Gargantuan. Alright, I'm going to have to go, man. I'm like a child playing outside in the cul-de-sac, man. I don't ever want to go. For real. I always feel like mom and dad are always trying to call me in or something like that. Whenever that street light comes on, it's time to go in, you know. Yeah. Boy, now where am I going? I don't know until I go. Great finds today, man. Great finds. I guess I couldn't help myself. And I figured that today was the perfect day to come out and take a look around out here for the first time ever, you know. Due to my curiosities of seeing large things at a distance, making me rubberneck as I'm driving down the road. Some of the time I don't have to depend on Google Earth to try to spot large trees of life. All I have to do is just drive down the road myself. Or use Google Street View like I do sometimes, you know. Someone just said something about 30 seconds ago. Sounds like someone said up the hill. I know what you're telling me to do. You're telling me to follow the trail. The old road, whatever this is. You're going to find more bottle dumps, probably. Well, not bottle dumps. Let's not say bottle dumps. Let's just say dumping grounds from back in the 80s and 70s.